we go. Counter's moving. We're hot, and we are hot. A little humid today, Bradford.
It is a little warm.
Welcome to Shiftless. We figured 152 at Casa Verde, but not on the back porch. It's trying to rain on us.
I'm not mad about it. July, rain.
No, I'm not complaining. I am.
Had a little over an inch here last night.
I've heard that before. Oh, no, yeah. I'll have a story along those lines for you later. I got so many stories for you today, but it's mostly bicycle related. So give your tour update. What's going on in the tour? How is it so far?
It's been a great tour to watch. There's a lot of just fun moments that have been happening, but it's, as predicted, Pogačar's leading after the first bout of the mountains and the Pyrenees, and then I think they're about to be into the Alps here in the next couple of days. They're on a rest day today, but he has, I want to say 2.5 minutes on Bendigo. So it's going to be interesting. Unless something catastrophic happens, I don't know if he's going to be hotly contested, but we'll see.
Okay.
It's been interesting.
Catastrophic can come out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because what, the kid with the yellow jersey had, he didn't descend very well and had one of his teammates take out his wheel. Well, he took out his own wheel, basically.
Yeah.
He went way too deep, too far inside his teammate when the teammate, I saw that much.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's
just, to me, that's just poor handling skills,
I think a broader term would be inexperience.
Yeah.
So
it's less technical, more endurance.
But I mean, how much descending experience do we get around here? So if it's a 24-year-old kid that hasn't had much descending experience, that might be the only time he's ever done any descending at the pro level with 100 other riders or whatever.
I mean, I hate that he had to abandon the tour, but he wasn't going to be in yellow much longer anyway.
Understood.
He had his little shine, and I'm happy for him. And luckily, his injuries weren't crazy. I think he had a couple of broken ribs and nothing else major, just banged up and bruised up.
Understood. But no, the point, because he was forecast to be the next big thing, but now he's missing a whole tour that pushes that experience building basically that year. Yeah. And who knows what else could come into the next. Because when you're riding bicycles, the unexpected could happen.
That's what I hear.
It can happen. It can happen. So I know this is a more mountainous tour than usual. But every time I've turned it on, it wasn't mountains. It was flat stuff.
Yeah. 5 was one of the major mountain stages, and that's where Pogačar really kind of put a stamp on everything. He just rode off from everybody, and I think he soloed for like the last 45 kilometers, which is amazing in itself. But yeah, there has been the past couple of stages were the last stage 9, actually had a couple of category 2 climbs, or at least one category 2 climb. And I haven't looked ahead at stage 10, what it even looks like in stage 11, but it's about to get shaken up a lot more. We'll see how everything works out, but it's been interesting.
Any bike news that you know of? Anything that popped up on?
I saw this CEO providing $20 million in financing for struggling GoPro. San Mateo, California, GoPro founder and CEO Nicholas Woodman will provide $20 million in financing through the purchase of common stock as the company considers either selling or merging to maximize value for stockholders. So
GoPro's got to be basically done at this point. DJI and Insta360 own the market. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
And I see a world where they'll acquire GoPro for pennies on the dollar just to keep the name afloat.
Keep the name, and GoPro probably has some patents that are worth something.
Yeah.
They probably have some actual technology in development that's worth something.
Yeah.
I think it could go either way. Insta360 might want to gobble up GoPro to further eliminate
competition,
360 competition, but DJI might want to pick them up to enhance their 360 capability.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to get shaken up.
It's already shook up. I mean, GoPro's kind of been a non-player for a while now. The name's still out there.
Yeah, like, and the thing that's crazy to me is I don't understand our incessant need for newer and newer and newer. I think they're on like the Hero 14 now or something. GoPro.
Sure.
It's like, how much better? It's like iPhones, right? How much better is the 17 than the 16? And you know they're going to be coming out with an 18 probably in September. So it's like, when can we just go, oh, okay, what I have is okay, good enough?
I mean, obviously it depends on your own particular use case. I've found I'm big in the Insta360 world, but I don't need every new generation. But typically every other generation, it's like, oh, okay, there was my pain. Those were the things I was complaining about, and they've addressed it now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like every other generation kind of seems to accomplish that. DJI's been the other way for me, but they don't, like, Insta360 seems to come out with a new version every year, maybe even quicker.
Yeah.
DJI is more like every 2 or 3 years. And the stuff of DJI's that I like, it tends to, it's like, oh yeah, that's head and shoulders above what I had. It addressed some of the issues my concerns that you put up with because you have to, but it's like, man, sure would be better if it did this or didn't do that.
Yeah.
So when those issues get addressed, it's like, like in my case, the Insta360 one, the biggest update for that when they went to what they call their X5 was it was a bigger image sensor that worked better in low light conditions. And that was the biggest thing was with my Insta360s, I had to have, if I was in low light or night, it was absolutely worthless. It looked like, it was potato footage.
Yeah.
Now with the bigger sensor, it's doable, still not fantastic, but it's enough to get by. And of course, they're coming out with the X6 now with an even bigger image sensor, but it's probably not enough for me to justify it. But the X7 probably will be, sort of. Anyway.
Yeah. I think a lot of novices, though, I've seen more and more of the meta footage from glasses and stuff.
I mean, that's the, at the moment, that's the convenience tool.
Yeah.
And the capabilities of the glasses right now are definitely better than what they were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about that. The glasses, though, it's going to kind of like be like e-bikes in that it's going to go against the community in general. People have privacy concerns with them.
Yeah.
Understandable. I don't know what the line between understandable and justifiable is, but I understand that privacy concern. I'm not saying I do agree with it or I disagree with it.
Well, I've already seen videos of part of the technology that they integrated into that for the privacy concern specifically was there's supposed to be a blinking light that shows when you're recording.
It's just like e-bikes. You can hack them.
Yeah, and I've already seen videos of people hacking them, so they're either removing the light or blocking it. Yeah, and so now people are filming unbeknownst to those that are being filmed.
Right.
So, there's always going to be hacks to everything.
Ultimately, yes.
I misspoke. They're on the Hero 13.
Okay.
Pro. But see,
they actually have slowed down then because they were at Hero 12 like 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if I'm in this market, the only GoPro I have is a GoPro that I found on the mountain in, I want to say Steamboat, and tried to figure out who it belonged to, tried to see if there was any information on there. Somehow all the photos got dumped into my photo album, and when I come across them, I try to delete them, and I thought I was going to use it, but it's not intuitive. I didn't spend enough time with it. But if I was going to get into a GoPro, just my mindset, I would be on Facebook Marketplace buying somebody's Hero 10 that they probably hardly ever used instead of going out and buying a brand new Hero.
Funny thing. So I've looked at that in the past. Yeah. There's been times it's like, well, it would be nice to have a backup camera or something I could not worry about if something happened to it. And most of the time when you look on Marketplace, it's like people that own those want
$1 for them.
their expectations of the value are unrealistic because there's always specials out there being put on by GoPro or the other. It may not be right now that Insta360 has a special on their action cam, but if you wait a month, if you start watching prices on them and all of a sudden it's everything that's electronics. Like I broke down and bought a fridge for this the other day because it was a hell of a deal. Yeah. So that, that'll be here this week.
And that would be part of my, consideration if I was on Facebook Marketplace and, a used one was $100 cheaper than a new one. I'd be like, well, fuck that. I'm going to get a new one.
Right. Yeah, right.
But
that's
I would anticipate them being.
But they're not. That's not. They're not. They should be half the price.
Yeah.
But what all these people do is that they're like, oh, I've got this $400 camera and I've got $800 worth of accessories. So that's $1,200. So I'm going to sell it to you for $1,000. Yeah. Sort of that. Everybody's. It's like the people that buy the Mustangs and throw the shit all on them and I've got $30,000 worth of shit bolted to my Mustang. And
speaking of Mustangs, I could change up. Gage's car broke down last week. I can't remember what day it was. Oh, it was on Tuesday. He broke down literally at the end of the street. It just stopped running. And after much troubleshooting, it's the fuel supply system. Would change out the control module, hoping that was the culprit.
The culprit.
Because it's one of two things. It's the control module or it's the actual fuel pump. So now after we get through podcasting, we're going to change out the fuel pump assembly, which is conveniently located under the back seat.
Sure. I guess it's kind of close to the.
At least you don't have to drop the tank to get to it.
There is that.
So
there is that.
It was. We'll see. Hopefully that fixes the problem. But it was funny you mentioned Mustang.
I was looking at the Mustang when I thought of it, so it's like it's out of place. Something's going on there.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Anything else on your list,
man? Just fuck AI. The GoPro 13 for $275.
Chat.
And where was I on the website? Because they were like $369 or four months. Hero 10 for $28.
I don't. Once you start going that many generations back,
it may not be supported anymore.
It may not be supported anymore. And the reality is you have to have comparable quality video to what else is out there, right? If you're distributing the video in any way.
Yeah.
So the big thing is the stabilization. I think it was 12 when GoPro finally got their stabilization dialed in.
Yeah.
I think I have a 10, maybe. That was okay, but not great. The DJI stabilization was better. The Insta360 stabilization is much better.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's the thing, it's like, oh, you can get a 10 for $60 or whatever it is. The sweet spot is really what can you get for 200 sort of thing. That's kind of where you want to be. And usually for 200, you can get a decent camera from one of the big guys at any time, brand new.
Yeah.
And on the GoPro side of things, usually when you buy from them, it includes like a year of their editing and their free uploads to the cloud and all, and their app access, blah, 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 blah.
Definitely spiffs that go along.
Yeah. I'm not saying don't buy used, but it's usually the used value isn't when I've looked in the past.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. It may be now. I'm still confused why so many people think they need action cams.
That was my complete thought process when the whole GoPro thing started was nobody wants to see my mediocrity. That was always my thought. I'm not out hitting big jumps and I'm not going like super fast and, I'm not going to spend hours upon hours editing 1 to 3 minutes of video and gonna set music to it and all that. I was just like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Plus, I don't want to subject anybody to just boredom.
Trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
Trust me, I get it because I do subject them to boredom, and I'm working on that.
Yours is more of a documentarian style,
informational.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, but I know it's a work in progress. I definitely admit that.
But to be fair, we need guys doing stuff like that. We need less guys that ride at a medium level recording boring ass trails, you know.
I can't. Again, I don't know how they utilize their footage or what their expectation. So I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm curious. So hey, please leave comments, send messages
if you have a GoPro, what do you use?
Yeah, if you have an action cam, how do you use it? What does? And not from a. I'm genuinely curious as what people's if they are not trying to create a big YouTube channel out of it. If it's just for their own personal purposes, how do you utilize that footage?
Yeah, like I see, you know, I consume a lot of various footage, and I see a lot of people in the fishing world using GoPros, chest cams, you know, the chest mounts and stuff for fishing videos, and on the extension, the poles or whatever you want to call it, on like kayak fishing and canoe fishing, and even, you know, standard bass boat fishing and stuff like that. So it's you know, we tend to think in the cycling world that it's all sports.
Oh, sure,
in general. I mean, snowboarding, skiing, obviously mountain biking, but there's even people that run with a selfie stick for trail running and various things. And I'm sure there's 100 that I'm missing that's probably even bigger.
I mean, I think particularly when you go outside our generation, but it definitely exists in our generation as well. There's a lot of people that they'll record 3 hours of GoPro footage while they're on their run or fishing or whatever else, just to create a week's worth of reels and stuff like that. So then, you know, they're just like, okay, I have my 1 3-hour session, but I've got a week's worth of content out of that for my Instagram or TikTok or whatever else. And I keep trying to get into Instagram and I just can't do it. TikTok, I've given that a shot 3 or 4 times and I just have no use for it whatsoever. I'm not judging those that do.
I deleted TikTok about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I did too. But I recognize that there's potential market for me to hit that are particularly when would love to reach a younger demographic for some of it anyway. But I can't put together content if I don't absorb the content myself and know what people want to experience on it.
Well, and that's an ever shifting focus group too, because what's hot this week is cold next week.
Make no mistake, that's been part of the equation. I mean, I started out trying to figure out Snapchat at one point. It's like,
that's a whole nother
hell no.
The only reason I have Snapchat is because my kids were on it all the time.
Well, that's
and I got on it just as another form of communication. I'm trying to stay steeped in whatever they're into so I can have as many forms of communication as I can.
Just so you can relate and be relevant and be cool, Dad.
I don't want to be a chop dunk.
A what?
It's what the kids call it now. We used to call it old and busted, you know?
Okay.
Now they call it a chop dunk. An unk is just an old guy.
Okay.
And a chop dunk is somebody that's
chopped past 10. I thought it was chop dunk.
No, chopped unk. Yeah.
So chopped is what? Chewed up? Used up?
Yeah, kind of like broken, no good.
EMAT.
No longer relevant, you know.
I am the chop dunk of chop dunk.
Discarded.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to be getting there. We're definitely going to be getting there. All right. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I am going to put you on the spot. And I swear the rest of this conversation will tie into this more in depth.
Okay.
I had an interesting weekend to begin with, but we'll get there later.
Mm-hmm.
But as a result of the interesting weekend, it kind of reinforced that I definitely want to do something. Don't know what to call it yet. Let's just call it that Midnight Massacre weekend with the event center and the indoor facility and stuff like that. And I kind of want to lean it more towards, yes, I would love to have a bike swap there. I would love for there to be demos there and vendors, and that's all cool.
What's the date again?
September 19th is Midnight Massacre night.
Okay.
The plan is to be doing stuff on location where the Midnight Massacre is being held during the day, that day, potentially the next day as well. But let's fill up day 1 first, and we'll worry about it day 2 if the pieces come together. But what I'm wanting to do now, again, I want to do stuff that's basically bicycle community oriented to bang the drum and rally support amongst the community. Just what we talk about every week, just growing awareness for cycling, growing cycling, basically build the advocacy around cycling as much as possible. So I want to, my goal now, a tangible goal that I think I can work on with the help of you and other people I know that are involved with different organizations, anyone in the audience that's listening or watching that might be related. I would love to get all of the North Texas organizations on site to talk about what they do and what they offer. Everyone from Big Pig to Dorba to Fwimba to, I mean, whoever else is out there. I would love to have all of the advocacy groups, cycling clubs, everybody out there and everybody in the same place at one time to just bang that drum. Let's build the community. Let's build the advocacy end of things. Did you see the news last week about the bicycle infrastructure funds being shifted? Short story, and I'm not getting political here. It's just this is what happened. All of the federal funds for bicycle infrastructure have been pulled away from bicycle infrastructure and shifted towards other road projects.
Really?
So not to be unexpected. We've kind of touched on that issue in the past. It's not unexpected, but now it's happened, sort of thing. So there, and now,
what does that mean in a nutshell?
So
where were the funds going to go and where are they now?
A gazillion different projects.
Yeah.
So, but relevant projects for us would be like the Northeast Texas Trail. So, which has obviously been a very slow burn and a slow process as it has, but essentially everything that has been accomplished with it over the past 12, 14 years, what has been accomplished has been done through TxDOT and TxDOT grants and things related to US 82 development and things like that. The bridges that have been put in from Roxton to New Boston, that's all been TxDOT funds, which on the surface seems like, oh, well, that's state of Texas. No, TxDOT is the state arm that utilizes federal highway funds to do projects. Yeah. So that's an example like that. So basically then what's going on with the net is now effectively on indefinite hold. There won't be any more progress. And they had big stuff in the works for it. The Great American Rail Trail, kind of the same thing. It was a bunch of trails like the net that they were trying to tie together with other missing pieces and have a bicycle trail all the way across the country. Those won't go into effect. Realistically, most of the times, okay, the connector path from Dallas to Fort Worth, federal funds are involved with that a lot.
Next.
I don't know the specifics for each of these projects. Some of it is some federal funds, some state funds, some private contributions. But generally speaking, the projects don't happen at all without at least the kickstart from the federal funds for everyone to go, okay, this is viable.
Yeah.
Because
I guess if you had a grant, you would still have the money. It's not like they're going to reset.
No, they pulled grants.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's just like the Doge stuff. It's like, oh, no, we're not going to spend money on that after all, but it's gone now. Now, I'm not saying that where the funds are being redirected do we need safe bridges? Sure, we need safe bridges. Yeah. Do we need our highways properly maintained? Sure, we do. I'm one of those that I do. Yeah, I have a vested interest in this. I think bicycle infrastructure is something that's important.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. When you and I went to California, that was a wake-up call for me.
That was impressive, to say the least.
I mean, I knew good bicycle infrastructure existed.
Yeah.
I didn't know how good it really was.
Well, the South, I can't think of a southern state. I mean, Florida probably has a better cycling infrastructure than anybody else in the South. And it's not even that they have a great cycling infrastructure. It's that there's so many retirement communities and they have such golf cart infrastructure. And it's spotted well, but there's also a ton of path and stuff for tourists and beachgoers and stuff like that.
But see, so that's a good example of a lot of times those federal funds literally tie all that together.
Yeah.
Because when you do it at the development level or the neighborhood level or the small municipality level or the county level, somewhere along the way, you're going to hit a border.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to bridge it. Like that's what's been going on with the net for years. If 7 of the 12 counties involved want to play ball, but the other 5 don't.
Yeah.
You're at an impasse.
Yeah.
And it's the federal funds and the federal leverage that makes those pieces come together. It is the nuts and the bolts of it. That said, I believe it was the Forest Service. I got tagged so many times in this request last week. I'm sure it was tied to the same. They knew the infrastructure funds were going away, so they put out a call last week or the week before that, hey, if you're aware of any existing bicycle routes, long distance bicycle paths that might be easily converted to an official trailway or something like that, follow this link and submit by August, whatever. A gazillion people tagged me on that. I assume it was for the USA trails specifically, or maybe just my route building experience. I don't know. But that did get me thinking. It's like, I'm not saying the USA trail is a replacement for a true dedicated bike trail.
Yeah.
But it is something that is actually there. It exists.
Yeah.
It's a viable route. It needs to be fine-tuned. I would prefer that there was true dedicated bicycle infrastructure that did stuff like that. But in the meantime, I think people still need places to ride bikes.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where I'm maybe going to shift
We don't shift. We're shiftless.
We are shiftless. I think I'm going to shift less the USA Trail to more at that local community level of what can we do to help you point this out to people in your area. Here's somewhere for local people to ride their bikes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Here's an established route.
Yes.
With knowns.
Yes. And we want to make it available to you, but we also want it to support your community properly. And obviously we appreciate any community support they can do. And that's part of what I would love, just to get everybody that's involved with the cycling community as possible in North Texas under one roof that weekend. And not for my stuff, for everybody to support each other and point people in the right direction, do what we can. Because it was kind of reinforced to me over the weekend, the importance of bicycle infrastructure, or the importance of lack of bicycle infrastructure. So I've made the comment before, and I think one time when you came out to my house, you kind of agreed with it, that it's a pain in the ass. It's unsafe to ride bikes in and outside of my neighborhood. It's a less than ideal area for that.
That's how it was when I lived in the colony too. When I first moved there, it was like, oh, okay, I can ride from here. And then as everything developed around, it was just felt like I was landlocked unless I went north. And even now, going north from there is a pain in the ass to. So yeah, I totally understand.
So that's kind of been a thorn in my side for a while. Last week I got really good back into the habit of riding every day. I was having fun with it. But sometimes you just got to ride out of your garage to be able to accomplish that.
Yep.
And that's been tough to do in my neighborhood, and it's getting tougher by the day, sort of thing. Just even traffic keeps increasing, and it's worse than it was. But Saturday, I was just going out just to put in 45 or 60 minutes as close to the neighborhood as I could. It was a combination of things. My lovely bride, we were having a pop-up ride on Sunday at the Fort Worth Trinity Trails out of the stockyards. She decided she wanted to tag along for that. So I took her bike out, and that was part of it. It's like, no, I'll take her bike out, do a shakedown ride on it, make sure everything's working good, try out a computer on it, see if it did everything she needed, because her old computer wasn't meeting her needs.
Put 7 GoPros on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing, we kind of have paved trail infrastructure towards the front of our neighborhood, but not really. It's not much. It's less than 2 miles probably. Yeah. And at the moment, they're running these big old new high tension power lines through there. So they've got it all barricaded and blocked off and all that stuff. But right at the very front of the neighborhood, there's this like triangle. It's a 3/4 mile loop.
Yeah.
that is a safe loop.
I'll see it. Yeah.
I can do this 3/4 mile over and over and get in 45, but it's a beating,
Yeah.
but it's pedaling. And it was enough to allow me to check out Jan's bike, make sure everything was working good on it, and fiddle with this and fiddle with that. And the one stretch of bike path on there, maybe a half mile long, probably not that long. So probably the only piece of true bicycle infrastructure we had in my whole neighborhood. And I crashed on it of all places.
They didn't make it safe enough for you?
I'll let you be the judge. There's no doubt I'm at fault to some extent. I think others are at fault as well, but I'll let you pass judgment on that. Essentially, what I did was coming off the road, turning onto the bike path. Shortly thereafter that turn, I told you about the power lines they were running across there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was one of those temporary roadwork signs or whatever, right in the middle of the bicycle path. One of those spring-loaded ones, but there was no sign on it. And at the moment, my head was down. I was looking at the computer, making sure it did the stuff it needed to. And evidently, I hit that post and went down hard.
On the concrete?
That's a darn good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think
How wide is this path? 6 feet? 8 feet?
It's probably 8 feet. I'll send you a picture.
Okay. I think all the paths that they're putting in now are 10 feet.
It may be 10 feet. It could be. It could be.
But I think
it's a proper width bicycle path, but most of it was taken up by the feet on this. But we'll see. I'm in the wrong. Let me get.
So if it had no sign, it was just there, just.
I'll let you see it. I'll let you make your own call. How about that?
Well, if I'm the judge,
Lord.
And you admit, well, I was looking down, then, I'm going to hang all the fault on you. Fair. Just at first.
Understood. Fair. Fair. Let's see. What is it? B Green Chef B15. And there we go.
Just my name. Oh, you're going to email it?
I'm emailing it to you. Make no mistake. I admit I'm partially at fault here. And that's what I'm saying. I'm transparent.
Yeah.
I am. And to make it even more transparent and even to show how dumb I am even more, that was probably like the 4th or 5th time I went by that.
Yeah.
On that day.
That's going to be my next question.
But that in a way, that was part of it, in that it never registered to me of, oh, hey, that's an obstacle to keep in mind next time by, sort of thing. It almost turned into a muscle memory sort of thing. Anyway, I'm not, this isn't a lawsuit thing. I'm saying it was in the middle of the trail.
Yeah.
And just to the left of it was a street lamp. And I think more than likely I caught more of the street lamp out of my periphery and just kind of shifted a touch to the right. And I think what happened is I think I caught the foot of it, and I think it sent me into that street lamp is what ultimately happened, but I'm not sure.
Kind of pinballed a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but ended up just absolutely ripping my thumb open.
On the concrete?
Not sure what actually caused it. So when I fell, I thought I had fallen on the concrete. Looking back on it, I know the back of my head hit definitely on the sidewalk. That I know. Helmet did its job fantastically. No stars, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows concussions, it's me. So that didn't happen. So no concussion, but my thumb was spraying blood all over the place.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the picture and I'm just like, how the fuck did you hit that? Like,
I hit the foot.
Yeah, I see. But here's my other thought, and it's so easy to think about it in retrospect, but if I knew I was going to be going by that thing multiple times, I would have just moved it, especially since it's not doing anything.
Well, and to be honest with you, back in the day, I would have.
Yeah.
That's what I always did.
Yeah.
But now with my knees, I don't stop and get off the bike unless I have to, quite frankly. And there was another one even further down. It was one that was toppled over on its side. So the legs are splayed out like a big old X.
Yeah.
But that one still had the roadwork banner on it.
Yeah.
So it was just more obvious along the trail itself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying that shouldn't be in the middle of the trail regardless.
I agree, especially since it's literally doing nothing. Yeah. There's
Right.
no signage on
And
the road.
if anybody's listening to this or watching this, I'll make this image the thumbnail. I'm admitting my stupidity here. I'm not denying it. But it just okay. And this is why it reinforces the importance of bicycle infrastructure to me. And quite frankly, particularly in Texas, because I've noticed this over and over in Texas, whenever there's construction or there's bike lanes involved or bicycle path, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They just throw a random road closed sign up, or they may not even do that. They'll just tear it up and not give you any warning. Or they, oh, well, we're going to tear it up now. And maybe we'll replace it sometime in the next 5 years. Who knows when? When I'm in Florida and riding bike paths and stuff like that, if they're doing major construction, they do a proper reroute for the bike path to support it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in prime example, we rode into Denton yesterday, and Denton does a pretty good job, or has done a pretty good job of establishing bike lanes, bike routes. But there's a stretch that we hit frequently, headed towards the square. I believe it's Hickory, and they have a bike lane, and it has, I think, ballasts on the left side of the bike lane to separate the traffic and everything. But there are at least 2 roadwork signs that are between the sidewalk and the bike lane, and they don't have feet like the one in the picture. They have the metal bracing. Yeah. And both of them, the metal bracing is sticking out 10 inches onto the bike path. So if you weren't paying attention, because it's only curve height off the ground, if you weren't paying attention, you could easily hit that. And they're both on downhill run. So you're going faster than you would just on a flat without any effort. And luckily, you're not worried about traffic because there are ballasts to the left. But I could see that being a bad scenario if you weren't aware they were there, or if you were in a line of cyclists and somebody didn't call it out, or if you didn't see it until the last second and then you're forced to swerve, you could hit one of those ballasts, you know? So and to me, this is gonna sound a little selfish, but instead of encroaching on the bike path, I would have encroached on the sidewalk, because people are going much slower. They're on foot. They can see it. They can avoid it on a walking sidewalk, you know.
Understood.
Versus poking it out into the bike path.
I think the logic, and I'm just guessing, and obviously anybody that's involved with transportation departments, road crews that put out these signs or anything, feel free to let me know differently. I think the perception is there are more people walking. There's hardly anybody that actually rides bikes on those things. So that's going to interfere with less people on the bicycle lane.
Yeah.
The reality is, but what's going to have the higher consequence if something does go wrong? And here's my basic tenet on it all, quite frankly, is that, well, with better bicycle infrastructure, you would see more people riding bikes, is ultimately what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people did we see out in California riding bikes on all of those bike paths that went all over San Diego and up and down it's not A1A, whatever, PCH, you know?
It was impressive.
So, and I'm sure there's people yelling at me now going, don't California my Texas. You can throw a little bit of California in my Texas. It wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Especially from the cycling aspect.
That's what I'm getting at.
But, and you could also make the argument if there was more people out riding, it would create a need for more bicycle infrastructure. You know, it's kind of
that's exactly what they're trying to avoid.
A cyclical thing.
They don't want people riding bikes.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before, because we want people burning petrochemicals and all that stuff. So anyway, I go down, I go boom, rip the hell out of my thumb. Went to the urgent care, and that was actually a pretty smooth experience. First time trying out a different health insurances this year for us. That went smoothly. The urgent care went smoothly. But then when I went to get up after she stitched up my thumb, which, yeah, oh, well, we'll go with the prognosis later.
How many stitches?
9.
9.
And it's all the way up and down the thumb there, but that's all gone pretty smoothly. But then when I went to get up, I couldn't move this hip, and I was able to work my way around and slide off the table and stand on it. It's like, oh, okay, it's weight bearing, no problem.
Yeah.
And but they heard me cussing. They were outside the door, and as I was getting up, I might have screamed like a little girl. And she comes running in. What's going on? Explain. All right, let's take x-rays. So they did the x-rays on the hip. Nothing appeared broken there. Then I proceed home. This just keeps going and going. This should have been done. Should have never happened. But anyway, then I go home. Lovely bride goes out to pick up my pain medications and grab some dinner and stuff like that. And I'm supposed to have the pop-up ride Sunday.
Yeah.
Typing up that email to send to them. It's like, I ain't gonna make it, guys. Sorry. Feel bad about it. And then I'm typing the Facebook version of it, and I'm typing that. I kind of brush my hip on the side of the chair and the other hip. It's like, oh, damn, that wasn't hurting before. Why is my hip hurting? That's weird. Finish typing the email and go to get up, and this hip just starts screaming. I'm like, what in the... I feel that and I've got this gigantic, like, catcher's mitt thing blowing up on my hip, which is, it's weird as hell. Like, nothing over there was sore. I don't know what that's all about.
What, did you fall on your left side or right side?
As far as I knew, I fell flat on my back, but the only thing that hurt...
Did your thumb get underneath you or what?
I don't know. I honestly don't. And Jan asked me about this because there's no road rash.
Yeah.
The bike's not scratched.
Yeah.
So what I think happened, I think I caught the foot on that sign while my head was down, because it was one of those, I'm just going down. I know I'm going down. It's like, what the fuck? Why am I going down? This is weird.
Yeah.
I think maybe I hit the foot and it deflected me towards the grass, and either I hit that street light post or just caught the edge of the concrete in the grass, and that's what flopped me over. Yep. I don't know. The bike's not scratched. I don't have any road rash. I know for certain my head hit straight back on the concrete, but maybe the rest of me was on the grass. I'm not really certain. Yeah. And all the breath was knocked out of me. I couldn't get up, and first thing I saw was just blood spraying everywhere out of that. And my goal was just to get Jan on the phone because it was close to the house. It's like, bring me a towel so I can stop this bleeding. It was obvious it was bleeding. It wasn't going to stop.
Yeah.
And while I'm crawling on the concrete, because the phone had gone skittering up past where that street light was, I'm crawling towards that. Then the Good Samaritan started pulling up. Are you okay? Oh, fuck no. Okay. You have a towel. Jeez. I need to stop this bleeding. But anyway,
on an innocuous stretch of sidewalk.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I'm at home by myself, and this catcher's mitt inside my left hip is just getting bigger and starting to hurt like hell. It's like, yeah, let me call the urgent care, see what they think about this. I told them what was going on. I said, some kind of hematoma. I don't know. My left hip wasn't hurting at all. This is just... She's like, is it sore? So, oh yeah, it's sore. If I touch it, I'm screaming. And she's like, is it still getting bigger? It's like, oh yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it getting bigger.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, well, you need to go to the ER. We don't have any appropriate scanning for something like that. They're going to have, and of course, I go to the urgent care to begin with, to not go to the ER.
Yeah.
To save $500 that way. So now I'm double dipping in the insurance.
Jeez.
So I'm like, okay, well, my wife's out getting my pain medication and going to the grocery store. Okay, if we just go later tonight or tomorrow morning. She's like, no, you need to call her, tell her to come home and take you right now.
Jeez, I bet Jan was super happy.
Oh, she was thrilled. She was excited. So
She's a very patient person then.
I think this whole thing's been more stressful for her than me, but it gets deeper. Believe it or not, it gets deeper. So I call Jan. She doesn't answer the phone. I'm saying, all right, well, she should be home any minute now. So I'm getting ready, grabbing what I can. And as I'm If I'm putting my shoes on by the front door, I hear it open. She's there with grocery bags and the prescription. And it's like, what's going on? It's like, we need to go to the ER. I've been summoned to the ER. Okay. How are we going to do this? Well, let's see if we can get in the Jeep. Couldn't get in the Jeep. Between the two hips, I couldn't get up and rotated.
Jesus.
And then is even a bitch to get in the passenger door of this, and his hip's getting bigger by the minute, sort of thing. And finally found some way to pivot, shuffle, and get in the passenger seat here, hitting every bump on the way. So it's screaming. Jan drops me off the door of the ER so she can go find somewhere to park this damn boat of a van at the ER. It's not going to fit in a compact car parking space, believe it or not.
No.
And I go in, and the poor woman at the front desk, she looks at me, just give me your driver's license. I give her my driver's license. She's like, just sit down over there. I don't have to check in, right? Oh, we'll take care of that later, honey. You just go sit right.
She can tell you were in pain.
Yeah. So, long story, somewhat short, but it's still going to get longer. And you're probably going to have questions, but we'll get there. Definitely a hematoma. They sent me in for scans to try to figure out what. So basically, there's obviously something actively bleeding into that left hip. They sent me for scans and CAT scans, and the main thing is to make sure it's not not aorta, vein, and what's the other one? What's the veins? The blood going back to your heart. What's
artery?
Artery. Thank you. Sorry, concussion head. Make sure it wasn't arterial.
Yeah.
And while I'm being scanned, it's kind of obvious there's a kerfluffle of some sort going on. I'm not sure what's going on, but they weren't like rushing me to the OR. So it's like, all right, there's a burst blood vessel somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's not arterial, so they're not rushing me to the OR for that or anything like that. And they wheel me back. What a cute puppy.
Did you have them take a look at your ovaries while you were at it? Make sure they were still intact? And
we'll get there. They did, actually. And that's kind of where the story goes next. So they wheel me back to the triage room.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a different vibe in the room.
Yeah.
After that.
Less urgent, more urgent.
I don't want this to sound the wrong way, because Jan and I both are huge fans of Baylor Grapevine for emergency stuff. They've been fantastic to us for the stuff she went through when I got hit by the car, and now this. Yeah. So if you don't know where to go and Baylor's practical and you need ER, I have no problem promoting them. And we're very compassionate, very
good all around bedside.
Very good, fantastic. They were the compassion was going to another level. Kind of caught me off guard. It's like, when I was being scanned, I knew something was up, but I didn't know what was going on. And then the doctor came in and said, all right, well, here's the good news. There is something that's actively bleeding and feeding the hematoma. It's still happening, but it's not gushing or anything. Yeah. But we couldn't identify what it was.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things. Is hematomas can be fed from almost anywhere in the body. That's just where it ends up pooling. And she's like, so, here's the instructions. We're going to stay here for a few more hours to make sure it doesn't grow significantly more. And if that's the case, if it doesn't grow, we'll be able to send you home tonight. If it keeps growing, we're probably going to have to take you in and figure out where the blood's coming from. But incidentally, while they were doing that scan, they found a mass on my kidney.
Oh, Jesus.
And so it's a good news, bad news thing.
So you have to have a biopsy?
It doesn't work that way with kidneys.
Oh, really?
The good news is, and this is the way, I'm not saying it is kidney cancer.
Yeah.
It's a high likelihood it is, based on the size of the mass. But it's until they know, they don't know.
Yeah.
But kidney cancer is not found in the regular blood works and scans and stuff. Most of the time when kidney cancer, renal cancer is found, it is incidental like this. Basically, you're getting scanned for something else, and they come across it incidentally. That's like 70 to 80% of the times it's discovered. It's because it's not picked up in blood work, and you can have kidney cancer for quite a while and be asymptomatic, which that part's good too. So I'm asymptomatic. So even though with the size of the mass, the likelihood of it being cancerous is pretty high. Since I'm asymptomatic, that's a good sign. But they have to remove the mass one way or another, and removing the mass may mean removing the kidney potentially, and that's where that really, don't get me wrong, cancer. The thought of cancer sucks.
Yes.
Make no mistake about that. I'm not diminishing that aspect of it, and that Jan's been distressed by that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm completely selfish. I'll admit it. My biggest concern is if it ends up that I'm losing a kidney and it prevents cancer, that's fantastic. I'm not knocking that.
Yeah.
Or if it just makes things better in general, that's fine. But I mean, this is one of those things I determined a really long time ago, just knowing the way physiology works, the body works, and life works. If I am as prone to crash my bicycle as I
Apparently.
I had made a decision a long time ago. If I lose a kidney for some reason, or if I have to donate a kidney for someone, I'm not going to be riding bikes after that, because there's no margin for error there. So if something happens and you lose the other kidney, then you're on dialysis.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend my life on dialysis.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you, it's completely selfish, but at the moment, yeah, cancer's scary. Potential of cancer is scary. There's no doubt about that. As far as that stuff goes, there's a lot of good news related to kidney cancer, renal cancer, potentially. I don't want to stop riding bikes.
The story took a lot of turns.
I knew it would.
Shit. Process all that.
And
I'm sorry for you to even have to go down that rabbit hole and entertain all those negative thoughts and try to puzzle your way through it with limited information. It's got to be.
It's hard to explain. I'm at peace isn't the right word. And it's like, I'm fine with the process being what it is.
Yeah.
Realistically, we needed to get through this hip and the thumb so basically the doctor at the ER was like, wait, yes, you need to see an oncologist and a nephrologist soon.
Yeah.
But we have to get through this stuff first. So it was like a week from today, try to make an appointment a week from Monday or Tuesday. Have a good friend on the insurance side of things, Mr. Ron Wadley. His wife's a doctor, Andrea. It's all right.
Yeah.
Andrea. There were referrals from Baylor. That was the downside to Baylor. Unfortunately, they're not on our insurance plan for regular care. Emergency rooms or for the insurance side of things. Unfortunately, the insurance plan we had to settle for, we knew we weren't going to be able to be in the Baylor network if we needed something beyond emergency care.
Oh.
But obviously, all of the doctors they're going to refer us to from there are Baylor-oriented network. So I'm going to lean on Ron and Andrea to help us find the right doctors that are in the network for our current health coverage and things like that. The renal cancer thing, it's not a sure thing. I'm not pretending it is, but I'm not being pessimistic by going it probably is.
Yeah.
We're in that 80 to 90% range. Being asymptomatic with it, if first thing they're going to want to see is that it hasn't spread elsewhere, and they'll have to do all the scans associated with that. Obviously, they'll need to, when it's appropriate, find some way to either remove the mass and you pull it out. You don't just do the biopsy. With the kidney, you go ahead and remove the mass, and then you test it if it's cancerous or not, and if it's too big or too deep or too implanted or whatever, they
take the kidney.
They take the kidney.
Jeez. Well, let's hope that's not the case.
Hopefully not. And then, again, the good news is even if it's a stage 4 cancer, which I'm not going down that path. I'm not saying it's where it's past true treatment to get rid of it. Apparently, renal cancers, there's the ongoing treatment means it's not like pancreatic cancer or anything like that. More along the lines of
remove it and move on, kind of.
It's something you'll be dealing with the rest of your life, but it's not, kind of like the HIV/AIDS thing and the medications that came up. You're going to have to deal with it, and it's always there, sort of thing. But they have regimens around it that seem to be pretty good at the moment. So it's not one of those, for lack of a better term, I'm not trying to be overly crass here, but it's not an instant death sentence, or even if it's kind of a worst case scenario. So like I said, this was a terrible thing. I wish I hadn't crashed my bike, but I'm glad I crashed my bike. Yeah. Because if I hadn't, I wouldn't know this.
Yeah. It's a blessing in disguise of sorts.
Hypothetically, me crashing my bike could be the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. God, that is crazy. I had no clue where the story was going to go.
I know. I knew I was going to catch you off guard with it, but
bring down the roofs.
But it's not. It's part of the adulting thing, man.
Fuck adult.
We all got to deal with this shit eventually, one way or another.
Yeah. Jeez.
Like I said, so far, for lack of a better term, I'm okay with it. I'm not freaking out or anything like that. We'll see where it goes, what it does.
How is Jan holding up?
She's doing good, as well as could be expected, probably better, but I know how I would be if it were her. Yeah. And that's a different dynamic there.
Yeah. I can't even begin to interject myself into that thought process. That's crazy. I suck at this kind of thing. I don't know what to say.
I'm not fishing for sympathy or anything like that.
I mean, you definitely have my sympathy, but I don't ever know how to respond to situations like this. I don't deal well with it.
Understood. But that's kind of why I'm springing it on you like this, because I want you to respond what your knee-jerk and gut reaction is, not from a support and platitudes perspective, but what are your questions about this stuff? Because I guess I'm doing it like this because I know it's going to get out there, sort of thing. I'd rather have some information on the front end for people. Here's what is really going on in Kevin's world with this, as opposed to, did you hear about Kevin? And I'm obviously anxious for next steps and more information, as I'm sure you are. And because really, you don't have a plan of attack until you know more. Yeah, the first step is to visit the real doctors that know what they're doing with this stuff, as opposed to surface level. What the ER doctor was able to, she's not gonna go too deep into it.
She can't comfort or scare. She's got to play middle road.
And I can do all the YouTube and Google research I want to on my end.
That's fear mongering.
I know how to dig past that and get into the real meat and potatoes stuff, but it's still not equivalent to an oncologist that's been practicing for 20 years or anything like that. So all I'm saying is, the good news on it, for lack of a better term, the positives of it. And I tried to express this to Jen. That's what she couldn't. She's like, why are you calling this a positive? It's like, because it could be so much worse.
Yeah, it could have been 2 years down the road.
Could have been 2 years down the road, again, my biggest fear ever since Ray has been pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
So,
again, I don't have any symptoms of anything that's, tied to, I'm not having any kidney issues. I'm not having any other symptoms that might indicate that it's spread to other areas or anything. I'm not saying it hasn't. We just don't know until we know.
Yeah.
But there's nothing indicative that we're
outside of the size of the mass, there's nothing indicative that we're in a bad place with
Let's
it.
just stay focused on best case scenario and hope and pray that that is what's going on, and it's
I hope so.
it's isolated, it's right there, they're going to remove it, all's going to be good, you're going to move on.
And that is
Yeah.
definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
I think there's a lot of power in positive thinking, because you can manifest is such a woo-woo word, but I think if you tear yourself up and go down to the worst case scenario, you can almost create even more havoc, and obviously it just wears you down mentally and physically, and can create a worse scenario.
There's both sides of that coin. I think that's a good way to. I am definitely a hope for the best but prepare for the worst type guy, and I would much rather know what the potential downsides are, as opposed to being off in Pollyanna land going, oh, everything's great, it's going to work out fine. But again, like I said, I'm fine with it at the moment, because from a practical, Kevin's pessimistic worst case scenario, be prepared for anything side of things, it's like, okay, that could definitely be a whole lot worse. I can deal with that if it gets to that level, and if it's anything less than that, I'm going to be ecstatic.
Yeah. Well, fuck. Obviously, keep it posted, and I guess we'll wait for another week to find out anything. Right?
Probably going to be longer. I'm hoping to make an appointment today or tomorrow, but I have to hear back from who I should maybe try to make an appointment with. If I don't hear anything specifically from Ron and Andrea, I may go ahead and book the oncologist that I was referred to and eat that cost for an initial visit. But that's also part of why it's like, I don't know how all this insurance stuff works. I'm glad I have an insurance guy on my side.
It's bewildering to me.
So it's like, am I shooting myself in the foot by getting an appointment out of network? Do I commit myself at that point? I don't know. I don't know.
My mom's dealing with some insurance bullshit right now that I don't even begin to understand.
Well, she comes from the insurance industry, though, isn't she?
Yeah, but not medical.
No, I get
Property
that.
and damage and stuff like that.
I get that.
But her doctor is in network, but the only facility that he practices in is out of network. And
we've run into that before.
And he is the only doctor that can do cataract surgery in her area, like within like a 2-hour, 3-hour drive. And so she has to go to him because he's in network, but because the facility, the only place that he actually performs surgery is out of network, it makes no sense. How can your doctor be in network, but the facility's not? I don't begin to understand any of it.
And they don't want us to understand any of it.
It's beyond confusing to me. And it seems purposefully designed to be that way.
Yes.
So.
It most assuredly is. It most assuredly is. How was your dinner, man? Hey, seriously.
It was absolutely amazing. We had, I want to say 50% new people, and they were beyond blown away. I don't deal with bad stuff like this. I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond when people just pour out compliments. It's just incessant, just like, oh my God, they're just on and on about every course. But I will tell you that my favorite compliment that I received from everybody, and it's taken 7 years to hear this amount of positive, the soup blew everybody away. Normally, there's 3 or 4 people that was like, oh man, that soup was amazing. But there seems to be like this, soup has been in a downward spiral as a food in a lot of circles for ages. But I made a grilled corn and peach cream soup. And so I grilled corn, let it chill, sweet corn, and then juiced it, and then juiced the peaches and combined that with some heavy cream and a couple of other aromatics. But on the surface, it just looked like a lightly yellow cream soup, you know.
Okay.
But nice and sweet. Had just that touch of smoke in there.
Was this a chilled soup or?
Yes, cold soup. 90, something degrees.
Yeah. I'm double checking.
And then I took the corn cobs from the corn, obviously, and then made a broth out of those and then reduced it down to where it was like nothing. And that got drizzled on top. And then I took the corn itself that had been juiced and dehydrated it. So it's like a corn granola. And that got peppered on the top of the soup. And then I did a little homemade red wine vinegar sea salt just for that acidity kick. And then I had some homemade red wine vinegar that I did a little spritz on top just to kind of tie everything together. And it was unanimous. Like the whole table was like, we were blown away just from the soup at the start.
Was that course 1?
Yeah.
And course 2?
Course 2, I did a whipped feta, sauteed, pan-fried radish, just shaved on the bias, celery, watercress, parsley, and orange segments. And I did a homemade dressing. The whole premise is this was a whiskey dinner, rye dinner. So I was trying to play on the notes of ryes and whiskeys in general. So that's why the corn was the start. And then the peach is the sweetness. And then the peppery in the salad. And then course 3, I did a tuna crudo with the coconut leche de tigre sauce.
What is a crudo?
It's just a raw fish.
Okay.
But I did a short cure on it. You do like a 30-minute cure, and it just tightens it up, pulls out a little bit of the moisture.
A little texture there.
Yeah, changes the texture, makes it a little bit firmer, less gelatinous, if you will. That was really well received. In course 4, I did never done this before for a dinner, something I make at the house all the time, but I did a brisket stir-fried rice with everything as top-notch as I could do it. Like I did brunoise carrots and shaved, so everything's delicate, but still it's the brisket, I did a fine dice on it, so it's not just chunks of brisket in there, you know. And then course 5, I did a smoked sweet paprika pappardelle pasta with andouille, and I did like a Cajun cream sauce almost, roasted Campari tomatoes that I peeled, and then I took those peels and dehydrated them, and that was the garnish for the plate, the flakes, if you will. Did a homemade Cajun seasoning blend to just kind of kick it up a little bit, sauteed the andouille, and then proceeded to cook everything with that during dinner service, you know. But I had obviously had everything prepped out. But I did fine dice celery, and I did some Aloha bell peppers. It's like a yellow-red hybrid bell pepper. And then shaved bulb onions in there. And I brought the cream from the following course into the pasta, because I steeped sweet potatoes in milk and cream to make the whipped sweet potato for course 6. So when I was done with that cream, I didn't need it, so I sent it through a fine filter, so it had a little bit of sweetness in it. It was reduced, and it just played perfect with the pasta. And so course 6, I did a 53-day dry-aged Wagyu ribeye and smoked blue cheese, garlic, whipped sweet potato. It's kind of a cheat code, because most people were like, dude, that beef was some of the best. Sure. And I brushed it with a homemade brown butter.
Of course you did.
And a little sea salt. And then course 7, I did a horchata tres leches. Okay. So horchata is already 3 milks, essentially. So I was like, why don't I just make a horchata tres leches? And then we did a house whipped cream on top and a little strawberry fan as a garnish, just to pretty it up. Course 8, I did a homemade peanut butter cup of sorts.
Okay.
We did a homemade chunky peanut butter, a little bit of Greek yogurt and honey, and made basically peanut butter cups and then froze them and then dipped that into dark chocolate, milk chocolate blend. And then as soon as they were dipped, they had roasted peanuts and sea salt on top. And then course 9, I did Betty Joe's pecan pie, and I did a buttermilk, bourbon, vanilla frozen custard.
Ooh. I am sorry I missed that one.
Didn't suck. And then for our drink, since it was Sagamore Spirits, we featured their small batch rye in our drink, and I did a cherry cola old fashioned with a cola cherry garnish. So I did, at our last dinner, we don't ever keep Cokes at our house, and I had a single can of Coca-Cola. And so I put fresh cherries in there and reduced it down with the cherries in it. And then when I had that reduction, I pulled the cherries out and let them kind of air dry a little bit. And then I coated them in a little granulated sugar, little demura sugar, and dehydrated them overnight. So they were almost like a cherry gummy almost, instead of like a standard Luxardo or cherry. So also very well received.
That sounds amazing.
I was very happy.
Good.
Very happy. And all our guests were over the top. Like I said, I don't know I don't deal well with that. I just go, thank you. You know, this is what we work towards. So it was pretty awesome.
What's your next dinner?
The 25th? Yeah, I think it's the 25th.
So Judgment Day night?
So, yeah. It's a private dinner.
Okay. Well, that doesn't count then.
Yeah, well.
No, I mean, for you it does, but for promoting fam, it doesn't count. Yeah. So you have August dates yet?
No, I don't. In fact, I was thinking about that this morning when I was on the way back from a meeting. I need to figure out August dates. And that's something Paula and I'll have to talk about. And I have a function coming up in October. I've been contacted by 2 or 3 people to do private functions, which is awesome.
There you go.
Funny enough, the private dinner that's on July 25th, that lady reached out to me. This is how slow things develop. When we were on our way to California, that's when that whole conversation started.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, it's all about that pipeline.
Yeah, but full house for the most part. They have 18 people. That's awesome for me, you know. And then I'm doing a private function in October. That's for a fundraiser in Vinton. It's 25 people, 5 courses on site. So I'm looking forward to that.
Very nice.
So,
very nice.
A lot of cool stuff going on. I'm ready to put some more salami in my curing cabinet.
Oh, your curing cabinet. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And ready to get cheese going. I need to go and get cheese. Life has a way of getting in the way. With cars need working on. I'm still battling my stupid pool. I replaced my entire filter assembly, and I still have VE get into my pool, so I have to take my filter assembly back again. Or
DE.
Diatomaceous earth.
Oh.
That's the...
I know what diatomaceous earth is.
Aggregate. Or
how is that getting into your pool?
Evidently, there's a leak somewhere in my manifold system or something that is allowing it to... And it's just flowing. So there's a possibility I put my filter grid back together incorrectly, or maybe one of my filters had a hole in it somehow, but it was brand new straight out of the box. I really don't know until I tear into it, and that's on my agenda today as well. And then I have to replace my salt cell, which is sitting in a box waiting for me to replace it. But when I replace that, I have a union that's broken, so I need to replace that. It's never ending.
I'm glad I don't know nothing about fixing no cool.
Man, don't get up. I may have shared this before, but when I was dating my wife, she was really close to her grandparents, and her grandparents had a pool, and he got fed up with it, and he put a sump pump in the bottom of it and filled it with dirt and turned it into essentially a gigantic planter. And as a 22-year-old kid, I was like, the hell would you not want a swimming pool? And I used to think he was crazy.
You get it now, don't you?
Now I think he was a genius. I'm like, good call, old man. Good call.
We got lucky when I was a kid when we first moved to Florida from Arlington.
Yeah.
It was a small town. Mom and Dad were building a house, so we had to have a rental house in the meantime, the rental house had a pool, which when we lived in Arlington, all the neighbors around us had pools. And yeah, so why can't we have a pool? Why can't we have a pool? And just a summer with that pool where I had to do everything to keep it clean and running just as a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah. And you don't have oak trees in Florida.
No.
Yeah.
It was like, no, that ain't ever happening.
The crazy thing to me is it seems like everybody that lives in Florida that has a pool, not only do they just have a pool, they have an entire building around it, and it's screened in.
Yeah. Well, you have to for the insurance and security purpose.
Yeah. You're supposed to have a fence around your pool here. But
that's different. Yeah, different governments. But yeah, there are so many pools in Florida, and there are so many vacationers and visitors.
Yeah.
That
I didn't think about it from the insurance perspective. I always thought it was for bugs. Screen just to keep the bugs and wildlife out of
the screen is what ended up. It used to be you had to have the enclosure, a secured enclosure, and it turned into the benefit of that is, oh, well, we can just put screens around the enclosure and it keeps the bugs out too. Yeah. But that's what we used to do so we had our pool before those. That was before the regulations came in.
Yeah.
But it was cool because we would hang out at the pool every evening and just hang out with our heads just above the water, and the bats would come in getting all the bugs. And that was a blast.
Yeah. I think pools and boats are in the same category. Like,
most definitely.
Don't own one, but be friends with somebody that has one. You know?
That is definitely the direction to go. All right. Did we cover everything?
I think so. I mean, I'm with you on your journey. Keep us posted. And,
obviously, I'm going to.
Sending all the good Goo vibes to you.
I appreciate that. Like I said, I
know I'm in your corner.
It's going to be what it's going to be. And as things like this go, this seems like as good as it gets. So I'll take what I can get. Again, I consider myself extremely fortunate to find out it's a thing.
But I also noticed you're wearing your cycling shorts. So are you going to go ride your bike?
No, I'm off the bike for 2 weeks.
But you're just wearing it for compression purposes?
Yeah, compression. This was a prescription.
Oh,
they were like, so you did this riding a bike. Do you have compression bicycle shorts? I'm like, yes. Fantastic. Then you don't have to go buy the $300 compression setup. Just wear those. It's like, will do. And it definitely makes a difference on this hip when I have these on, when I don't.
Yeah.
And then probably next week we'll see all the blood starting to go down this leg. And
I can't wait.
Don't freak out.
I can't wait.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like I said, if you're healthy, go ride your bike.
Even if you're not healthy and you can ride your bike, go ride your bike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean into this. And no, this isn't a, oh my God, I'm on death. No. It's has this stuff I wanted to focus on before, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna focus on this now because it makes sense. I gotta get my shit together on this. I've always been cycling advocacy's been something I've been on my wish list, things I want to do related to spinistry, and I haven't known how to do it. Quite frankly, the lack of cycling infrastructure tells me where I want to focus my advocacy. How can we work with what we have to create whatever cycling infrastructure we do have, or can have, or able to put together. Be honest with you, I think the biggest thing, and it's the thing that gets under my skin, I understand that, and Facebook knows it gets under my skin, so it feeds me as many of these stories as it can, but it's the actual hatred towards cyclists that's out there. It's like, and it's not those people's fault. The machine is feeding that hatred, just like the political hatred 5 years ago. It's the same game that's being played specifically to foster an anti-cycling attitude. I want to figure out a way to work on that.
There's got to be a way to bridge that a little bit. You know?
That's what I'm hoping. That's why I want to get as many cycling-related groups together under one roof as possible in September, so we can come up with ideas together to make it better.
Yeah.
Am I in their way?
It's a flurry of activity around here. All right, let's end it.
Let us end it. Go ride your bikes.